Hello everyone, it's Nikki, and I'm here again for another one of my transgender blogs. 5 years ago, and specifically May 10th of 2010, when I started my transition, there were very few insurance companies and corporations that provided for transgender healthcare. Back then, we were just coming away from it being a psychosis and being moved into a medical condition, and the standards of care were updated, I think, to version 5 or version 6 back then. And I work for a company, big, giant IT company, that in November of 2010, I found that they were going to be offering transgender healthcare the following year. And I looked at it at the time, and there were very few companies back then that actually offered transgender healthcare. Most of them being the automakers, a couple of the big pharmaceutical companies, and Google, okay? Today, there's over 100 companies in the United States that offer some kind of transgender healthcare benefits. And I believe the number is actually close to 160, but I'm not 100% sure because what they consider transgender healthcare benefits is massively different than what the standards of care, SOC 7 from WPATH, says is necessary. A couple of things over the last few years have changed. The HRC will only give 100% on their evaluations of the companies to those that provide healthcare benefits for transgender, up to and including the surgeries. So what I want to talk to you today about is a little bit about my journey through helping to pioneer it with my company by hitting a bunch of hurdles that I'm still up against today, and how each one of those started to melt away over time. There's still some pretty big ones, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Before I go any further, I want to give kudos to companies like Facebook and like Google, and there's so many others that offer 100% of all the transgender healthcare benefits, up to and including facial hair removal, facial feminization surgery for male to female, and quite a number of other things like hormones, injectables, which are better in most respects and less dangerous in a lot of respects than the pills and other forms out there. One of the biggest things that I've been met with is this. For female to male transgender healthcare benefits, everything is covered. Primarily because hormones do most of the work by deepening the voice, giving them facial hair, providing facial hair, providing bone mass increase, and giving the appearance of, being who you are inside, which is male, and that would be for female to male. And most of the healthcare benefits provided include both top, mastectomy and reconstruction, and bottom, the formation of a male penis. So that's pretty good, and when you look at the bills, those bills could reach to around $300,000. So kudos to the companies that provide that. That's wonderful. Well, that's where the issue starts to come into play. For a male to female, there's a lot of things that are considered outside of the scope and cosmetic, and that's where you start to have issues. The first issue I had was when I was given hormones back in 2010. Apple decided at that point that they were going to give me the healthcare benefits because they were coming up, and they were providing the benefits for pills. Well, I go to a very well-known Dr. Vinteng Precha, so very well-known endocrinologist here in Atlanta, and he wanted me on injectables. Well, that was the first issue I hit. And I had to work with Apple and get an override because some of those issues are provided in different ways. I have a cat over here, right here, that's meowing at me. So some of those medications are provided differently, like injectables are provided on your medical benefits and the pills are provided on your pharmaceutical benefits. So there wasn't really this cross between how to get those provided. Even though they were provided for you, you had to go through measures within the United Healthcare structure to be able to get the injectables, even though they were provided. So that was my first hurdle. The next hurdle came from the wording in the standards of care and what was provided and what wasn't. I had to work with my company over the course of about 9 months before I actually got approved for the surgery that was approved inside of my healthcare benefits. And that wasn't just me, that was many people that worked for different companies at that time that were starting to come online with transgender healthcare benefits. So what's going on today is that there are a few companies that provide the whole benefits. And let's talk about what those are. The first and foremost of them are going to be top and bottom surgery, which most provide, if not all provide. Let's say they give you transgender healthcare benefits. So essentially they'll take a male to female, give them bottom surgery, give them top surgery, and put them out into the world. And in most cases, you have somebody that still looks like and sounds like and is hairy like a male, but with female parts. I applaud them for giving us those benefits, but everything else is honestly written down as cosmetic. Now, there are issues with that, right? I've seen more flat-chested women than I have women with beards, though maybe they're just very good at hiding it from people, but the benefits there seem to be twisted. I really feel that these major corporations, when they're looking at things and trying to decide what's covered and what's not covered, need to take it from the perspective of one of us and how we want to be and perceived in in the real world, not in their world of ink and paper while they're writing these benefits. Now, it is true that the single most costly part of transition is going to be hair removal. If you don't believe me, just do this, all right? It's an average of $120 an hour for electrolysis, and it takes about, let's say the average is about 70 hours. That's huge. The surgery itself is somewhere between 18.5 and 22.5 K, right? So 22K, 18K to 22K. That's not that much, but you're going to pay a great deal of that in your facial hair removal. So facial hair removal is actually in the standards of care as medically necessary because, hey, you've got to put somebody into the world that is going to be perceived as female on the outside, not just on the inside. So when you're a female to male, you take hormones, you grow hair. When you're a male to female, you take hormones, you still grow hair. So that's one of the things that I feel that really needs to be addressed by most of these corporations that are providing healthcare benefits for transgender. The second one is facial feminization, and this one seriously is one of the most important. There are key structures of the face, the brow line, cheekbones, the Adam's apple, the masseter muscle, and so many others, the jawline, the mandible, so many things that are key unconscious points that people look at when they determine female or male. Give a female enough testosterone over time, they're going to grow the bone mass and they're going to look that way, they're going to have the hair. But a male to female is not going to get rid of that bone mass. Once it's there, and you're going to need surgery to remove that. Standards of Care 7 actually provides that. Most of the healthcare benefits out there today were written off of previous standards of care. So that's something that we need to enlighten the corporations we work for and the benefits counselors there so they can actually help us move forward with that. Third major one is actually going to be voice. And now that one's touchy because voice surgery is not perfect. It's not perfected at this time. And the ones that sound best probably aren't in this country, though there is a wonderful doctor out in Oregon, I think that's where he is, that is doing some great work. I've heard a lot of pros, I heard some cons with the work he does. I'll leave his name out of this for now. But voice surgery is something that definitely can help. But I do think that at the very least providing some kind of benefit for voice transformation, like going for lessons or therapy on how to lower your voice would be, well, raise your voice would be a great deal more effective. So those are some of the things that I feel that are kind of like really needed and then honestly still considered absolutely no way covered. And the last one that I feel that every company should actually provide is just very basic body contouring. okay? Male bodies, straight like a 2x4. Female bodies are, more of this hourglass. And you have a lot of females with a straight body line. You look around, you'll see many of them. But there's just something to be said that it's an inexpensive surgery, sometimes between $7,000 and $10,000. And essentially you're moving fat from your midsection and back into your hollows of your cheeks and your butt and the top of your butt to give you a more rounded and female shape. At the very least, that's going to help you fit female clothing. At the very most, hey, if you get a good doctor and you have the genetics to keep the fat there and it starts to build up there afterwards, you're going to have a more female-like body. Now, I'm not saying that everyone that's transgender, transsexual, needs to get these surgeries. There's absolutely no way that anyone could force you to have surgeries. If you're transgender, you do what's right for you. What I'm trying to say is that these surgeries should be provided for the people that want to go through this start to finish, because at the end of it, you want to have as much going for you as possible, because it ain't easy living in this world as a transgender woman, especially when you're looking in the mirror and you're still seeing pieces of you that are male. And let me tell you, that's never going to go away. That's always going to be there. But trying to lessen that is going to give you better mental health care in the end. So an advocate here is an advocate for choice. That's what I am. I'm an advocate for choice, that these things be offered to you. I'm not an advocate for telling people how to go through transition and what they need to get done. I think people that are like that generally need to keep their nose out of other people's business. Transition is personal. Transition is different for everybody, and everybody has a different end goal. My end goal was very simple. I wanted to be a woman. That's it. I want to be a woman. I want to be accepted, and acceptance starts here, not there. And it took me a long time to get to this spot, 5 years of accepting me as a female. And that's why I disappeared for a while. So healthcare benefits are important to us. It's wonderful that many of the companies are providing them now. There's a lot of California state schools have insurance that covers transgender healthcare benefits. The most important thing is to do what's right for you. The most important thing is to have it available to you. And that's the big talk I'm having with you today. At my company, there's a boatload of people right now that are talking about this, that are both transgender and friends of transgender people, that are looking at the policy that we have and trying to bring it into the 21st century. Now, basically, what I'm looking at, and I'm going to just recount them again right here, is looking for top and bottom surgeries to be covered, which they are. Your trachea shave, which most companies cover. A brow debossing and other facial feminization pieces. I think that's imperative for most transgender females that are over the age of 30, under 30. You're probably going to cut off some bone loss. Under 20, you probably won't need it much at all. Under 15, if your parents were wonderful to you and let you transition really young and have given you hormone blockers when you were in puberty, then you probably don't need any of that stuff. So, facial feminization surgery and the body contouring. As far as voice surgery goes, I think it's too far off from now from being perfect. I can't advocate them giving you benefits for something that might not be perfect and might leave you talking like a Mickey Mouse robot, because I don't know how that surgeries are going in the States right now. If anybody has heard anyone that's gone through these surgeries and has seen quite a number of girls go through them and have great success, please tell me, and I'll get with that doctor's office and see if I can interview them on Skype and have that here and see how those surgeries are done and get some examples of the work that they've done. And that's, of course, if their patients agree to it. I am about done. I think that this one was about bringing your, about opening up awareness to those that didn't realize companies gave transgender healthcare benefits, and opened up awareness that you can fight, you can appeal. I've appealed many things, and I've gotten a few of them. And I feel that these are things that are changing before us. When you look at it, just recently, the Pentagon said they were going to allow transgender males and females to fight alongside other U.S. soldiers and airmen and seamen. And I think that's wonderful. And I think that the times are changing. We don't just have Chaz Bono, but now we have Caitlyn, I swear, I'm sorry for messing up, but Caitlyn Jenner. I mean, we have two big names that are bringing our plight into the forefront. I also want to point you to a couple of things I want to talk about in the future. I'm going to talk about a movie I just saw, which is called Boy Meets Girl. Go out and get it. It's only $5 on iTunes, and it's probably one of the best friggin' transgender movies out there. And the other thing is the Wachowskis, and of course, they used to be the Wachowski brothers. Now they're the Wachowskis because one of them is now female. And they did a great TV show or series for Netflix called Sense8, and none other than Jamie Clayton, who is a transgender female, is one of the stars in it, and she is freaking awesome. So I'm going to talk about those in the future, okay? This subject is not over. I want to talk about this over and over and over and over again, probably once every couple of months. And what I want is for you to leave your comments below on what benefits your company offers. And I'm going to start to piece those together, and I'm going to start doing shows about what companies are offering what, so we can actually bring our own companies up to par by showing them what the rest of the U.S. at least, what the rest of the U.S. companies are offering. If you're in a different country, give me all the information you have, and I'll work on those things also. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching me and hearing me ramble on about things. I'm just trying to bring to you what so many other YouTube personalities that were transgender brought to me while I was in transition. And I think that this is one of the things that I can help with the most now that my transition is mostly over, though I still have a couple surgeries I'm looking forward to in the future that will help me look at myself and like me a lot more. You know what? That's bullshit. I like me all the more right now, and I don't need anything else to like me more. And that's one thing I want you all to get through it. This isn't about having surgeries to make yourself, to make you love yourself. This is about getting a monkey off the back. This is about setting things right. This is about finding center, and it's not about running around and getting surgeries. I talk about this subject today because I feel that these things are important. I don't think that these things are imperative. The importance is something that you set in your own head, and I'm fighting for your choice to have these. All right, folks, thank you very much. It was really fun to stand here and talk to you for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I will talk to you very soon, and you all have a great week. Bye.